Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. You got a dream. You gotta protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.
What's up, guys? Jay here with the For the Love podcast, episode 11. I have another East Haven comic here. As I said in the prior episode, I was going to have Vincent Beedle. What's up?
Hey Jay, what's up, dude? Thanks for having me, brother.
Yeah, man. So this is not just gonna be all about the Dave Moon thing. We know that that's what a lot of people want to hear about. But you know, I don't. My show isn't about just stuff like that. It's about the person, their life, what's going on in their life, what happened in their life, and how they got to this point. So, but we're gonna touch on a lot of different things. First off, for those who are listening on, you know, just audio, you can't see it, but go to YouTube. The video will be there. The shirt. What's up with this shirt that you're wearing?
Well, for the people listening that do know, because, fortunately, I have a wide audience range now. So when I talk about local comedy stuff or where I grew up, a lot of people really don't even get what we're talking about. So that's why I promote when he's on your podcast, Alex. I want people to kind of get the background story. Mm-hmm. But Dave wore this shirt on your show last week, and he swears we're so different. And I seen it at Walmart today for $7. And I said, well, okay, so he ain't doing that good, you know? And I bought the shirt, and I was like, they even got it in my size,
That's
dude.
great.
So, and I got the shoes to match, so I was like, damn, dude, at least.
He did not wear those, did he?
He couldn't have.
Oh, okay.
He couldn't have, because
okay.
the Vans, when I was working
I don't
with
think
Bam,
he did. I don't think
when I was working with Bam, I just had to prove myself by wearing skater stuff.
Yeah.
So I just went out like crazy and bought a bunch of Thrasher.
So you were never really a skater type.
I could
before.
skate. I grew up with Nicky Alberino and Vinny Staffen, like guys in Foxen who were always skating. But I could skate down the road. I could never ollie. You know, I could skate right now. So I did, get on a board once, and everybody kind of laughed when I was at Bam's house. But nothing. They always used to try to pay me to drop in the bowl or something, because he's got, they would try to pay me to do something stupid. But when you're around that guy, you don't want to get hurt. So you just, I was like trying to back off as much of the shit.
Why? What happens if you get hurt when you're around him?
Nothing. That's it. Skaters fucking smack their head going 30 feet from the top of a half pipe or something, and then everybody just gives them some ice and some weed, and that's the end of it. You know?
Really? Oh, so that's how.
Yeah, or they call an ambulance if somebody's dying or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
One time at Bam's house, we were, not to get off track of Dave Moon, but this stuff's just a little more interesting sometimes. But this one kid had a beer, and then we passed him some weed, and he passed out. I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't know if he had too little white cell count or something. But we just he laid there for a while. We didn't want to call anybody because the party would have been over, at Bam's house.
Where did he live?
Castle Bam's in Westchester, Pennsylvania. It's where they
where they had the show and everything?
Yeah, but he doesn't live there. He actually has his own compound 6 miles away.
Well,
so he just
what was
that's
the
where
show?
all the fans.
What was the show?
You didn't know what the show?
No, I've watched it, but that house, what was that? Is that
that's literally where he lived? So the show was just filmed there every day.
But he doesn't
it was a reality
anymore?
show. I got to be honest. A lot of other people live there.
Really?
He's got 2 master suites on the top.
But he
floor.
owns it.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay.
Oh yeah.
The house from the show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bam's still got tons of money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he does.
Most people assume if I'm working with a celebrity, they're broke and at this point they need to work with Beedle or something. But no, it wasn't like that.
I will tell you, he looks terrible right now. What the fuck's going on?
I mean, he's 40 and he's trying to sober up and battling that, so his body's probably hitting him.
Is he really trying?
Yeah, he's been court ordered a few times, and also his family really and he wants to.
Yeah.
When I've been through shit with people, so I know that alcoholism, drug addiction, that's a disease.
I understand.
So to me, I know he battles it more about trying to relive the days. It's tough when you're a celebrity and everybody's. He used to tell me one day. He told me actually, we went and hung out one night, and he said, Vinny, I used to wake up with 50 people every single day at my house just to shoot the show when I wake up. He goes, now there's some skaters, there's people around. He goes, but I want people creatively motivating me every day to do stuff. So he goes, you could live here if you want. He was ready to let my kid and my girl, I mean, we would never do that, but I did stay there for a couple, a month at a time, a few days here, there. But, and he always treated me really good at the beginning. So it was super wow, this is life-changing. This guy was really open to the creative aspect of comedy and shows and stunts and getting back into it and even maybe getting back on TV. He always was about that. Mm-hmm. It's just that when you're around your fans and they love you so much and all they want to do is just you to be that crazy jackass guy, and they're handing you, beers or whatever. And
yeah, but what do you think he is other than that? Has anybody seen another side of him?
He's a dad, I know he's a dad. He's a good dad. I know that he loves his son. He's a good husband to his wife. He's very loyal, always with his wife, always with his parents, very loyal to his friends. We have been through so much together in the media alone. Let's say it was all made up. Let's hypothetically just say all of this has been made up and I'm just like a fat kid sitting in his mom's basement or whatever. Bam is still, through everything everybody's saying to him about me, will call me at the second he gets opportunity to, because creatively, that's all I care about with the guy. I never wanted to party with him. I never had a beer with him. I think one time I had a beer and he cracked one and I said, does that count as having a beer with Bam? Because I already was having a beer. I don't really even drink. Weed has always just been my thing. It's prescribed to me now, but it's been my thing even before that. And he was just a down-to-earth dude. It's just when you start mixing substances.
Yeah, what is he all messed up on?
So, I know that he was prescribed Adderall for a long time when I first met him, because he would stay up editing his movie. He's been working on a movie for a long time. He'd just stay up all night editing it. And but I would think, oh, this guy's gonna crash till 3 p.m. I'd get up at 9 a.m. and he's right there ready to go start the day, skate, paint, do music.
On what? Adderall?
Basically, yeah. And
just
he wouldn't drink.
You think?
He wouldn't drink, but he did end up, Adderall, what I learned is a milder form of methamphetamine.
Yeah.
And so people end up fucking with meth. You know what I mean? And so I guess, look, man, when you see these skater dudes, and I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of them come at a time in waves to skate his ramp, because he built a ramp in his backyard that's like an X Games type ramp that kids can come skate at any time. Yeah. So who the fuck knows who's coming through there with what? You know what I mean? You're talking about a 5-acre, you know what I mean, area, and he's a celebrity.
True.
They could just get shit tweeted out as a joke or so. I don't know. But the biggest issue, anyways, that people had with me in the public with him was he would get so fucked up after the shows or at the shows or before the shows that it just made it like his excuse to get out and go party was these tours that I was doing with him. You know what I mean?
How did that happen? How did you meet this dude?
Well, so I was actually working with Artie Lang from the Howard Stern show, and he's had a drug problem for 30 years, like heroin, speedballs, cocaine, $500,000 worth a day.
What?
Nuts, Jay. Like you would never, ever, ever believe the amount of drugs one man can do until you meet a rock star like Artie. It's not even me snitching on him. It's like talking about a legend, like a Babe Ruth of getting fucked. You know what I mean? And like I could never hear. I would die in one try. I don't know. I've never even done that shit. It's nuts.
Crazy.
But people knew about it because his nose was all bleeding and fucked up, and and he ended up getting it fixed a little bit, and now he's just like clean a year. He's been clean a year and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
So I was touring with him, and I met him. Bob Levy was on the Howard Stern show, and I'd known Bob through Atlantic City where I worked. We're going to fast forward this real quick.
Yeah.
I opened a comedy club in South Windsor, and I brought TJ Miller from Deadpool, and we sold it out in 5 days, and I had the taste of celebrity.
How is that dude?
He's awesome.
I heard he's a dick.
Nah.
No?
I mean, he promised me the world, and we haven't talked very much. But he likes me a ton.
Yeah.
Even when I send him 20 messages on Facebook in a row, neurotic, like I need my career to take off, he'll calm down and be like, "Buddy, we're gonna work together one day again." You just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
He loved me when he was with me. I just think those guys have so much going on.
As long as you had a positive experience,
of course,
then I'll
man.
take that.
Of course. Yeah. I brought him to my club in South Windsor when we first opened, and this is a really good story. So I ended up finding out that his opening act lived and grew up in South Windsor. So I hit up the guy and I said, "Hey, man, if you and TJ come here and Sunday you're in Jersey, Friday and Saturday, I'll put a show together in 5 days." And I got a Facebook message from TJ Miller while I'm playing NBA 2K, dude, and I just dropped my shit. I was like, this can't be real. And I look at it, and he goes, "Call me." And I called him, and he said, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and he said, "If you can bring me $1,000 deposit to Manhattan by 6 o'clock, I'll do the show." And I didn't even have $1. I was broke, I borrowed it from a friend in Rhode Island, drove to Rhode Island, picked it up. By the time I got to Manhattan, I only had $935 left. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I honestly had to pick up weed before I left. I was the kind of guy that I'm going to be real with this man. I look up his net worth at $7 million. He knows I ain't got shit. What do I even got, 60 grand? I don't know. I don't even have nothing. So he don't know that. What my brain is what he'd be interested in, if anything. Okay. That's my thought process.
I like it.
So I show up to this place, and it's a Japanese barbecue spot, and this place, I looked it up, 5 stars, dude.
And what, he's eating there?
I walk in there, the whole place is closed, Jay.
No.
He's got 5 waiters and waitresses in there, and he gets up like the movies and goes, Vinny Beedle, and he's going, and he's going crazy like from Silicon Valley. Like,
really?
I swear, I shit you not. And there's a table full of food, half the size of this room, where he's on the other side. I can't even reach to that food over there, and I don't even like none of this food. And he just wanted to show a young comedian that's never seen something fucking Hollywood. You know what I mean? Like, just show me something. He must have spent more on that lunch than I paid him.
Yeah.
I know he did.
Yeah.
So when people talk shit about him to me, I go, man, fuck off, because this guy... And he's like, try this. He's got the waitress, Beedle, eat this. Then he spent 45 minutes listening to my ideas like you are sitting here right now.
Wow.
Just listening to what I thought about.
What do you think that's about, though?
He said that a guy close to him that helped him start in Chicago just recently died, and he was the first guy to make him a headliner. And he said that he was going to pick somebody to help take off, and he picked me. Now, he really wanted to do a lot more. I promise you, man, after that one show we did, which was fire, and he came out of the green room to watch me, you know, and it
We're
was,
at your place?
Yeah, we had like 300 people there.
Has he ever seen your shit before?
Never. He was one of my favorites, too.
So what made him want to pick you?
Sometimes it's fate. I manifest things, Jay. I was watching a show on HBO called Crashing.
Well, that does happen in life.
So there's a show on HBO called Crashing where a guy sells tickets on the street.
Yes, I was watching that.
And then
what season is that in?
It's all done now, but like you watch it all, you'll really enjoy it.
But how many seasons did they do?
I think 4 they did.
Okay.
I don't know, something like that.
I think I've seen the first 2.
Okay, so anyways,
was great.
when I was watching it with my wife, we were already selling tickets in Atlantic City, but this guy was struggling, and I was making like $500 a day selling tickets on the boardwalk in Atlantic City. It was like a highlight of my financial career with comedy. And I said to myself, you know what? I said to Jessica, I said, Jess, I'm going to work with these guys. I said, I'm going to be this guy. I said, because if you've ever heard of The Secret, which my mom introduced me to, it's about basically the gist of it is just keep positively manifesting something in your brain.
Absolutely.
And it's going to
100%.
happen. Yep. Everything that's ever happened to me in my comedy career, I manifested it, man. I really have. So when that happened, I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. Okay. And I truly believe that. So people listening right now, they might not see this on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot because that is a character. Scumbag Vinny to me was a mix of bad decisions from my past, bad decisions I'm still going to make, mixed with a little bit of pizzazz, you know what I mean? And just kind of thrown out there as like letting people know that it's okay to, if you've made mistakes and people want to label you, fucking take the label.
Now, let me ask you about that character because I'm confused. I don't follow comedy that much, but now is it something that a lot of people do in this comedy world, like create characters like that, or
no.
is there? Because I was under.
It's actually not a comedy thing. It's something I learned with Bam.
Okay.
Because Bam isn't a comedian. Bam's a reality television star.
Right.
And so when I first started working with, let me just wrap up basically how to get to Bam.
Okay.
Once the TJ show happened, TJ promised me the world, didn't really come through. And I had like, I'm telling you, it felt like a vampire taste for celebrity. Yeah. And so when Bob Levy's like, I know Artie Lang, I booked them and paid them $6,000 to come do 2 days at my club. And after that, Artie liked me so much, I started managing him on the road for a little bit. Once Artie went to jail, we did about 6 shows. And then he has a court date, regular court date, and he pees dirty. And so he violates and they put him in jail.
You're kind of like that guy in the show.
I'm exactly like that. He worked with TJ at in the first season too.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
And then he went to Artie.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have the same
weird.
Dude, it's my life. And people say, every comedian you'll ever meet will say, I'm crashing. Well, guess what? Unintentionally, no one crashed as hard as I did. Yeah, every weird. Problem I've ever had financially, whether it's from friends that we both have, if I've owed them money, if I've owed weed dealers money, if I haven't paid comedians, it's all stems to my addiction to want to be famous. It's an addiction as bad as heroin.
Why do you want that so bad?
I didn't. But once I didn't, I wanted to be paid to be a comedian. Okay. And so once it started to happen, it was a feeling I couldn't get rid of. Performing in theaters as opposed to bars with 12 people, just a different thing, And it was just a feeling that I felt like, man, I got to keep this going somehow. So I would literally do anything as far as what I can do to make money to stay up because it costs a lot of money to keep
bad
up that
things,
kind
though.
of life. not really super bad things, but just cutting corners with business. There'd be a situation, like there's one thing I wanted to address, which is a good friend of yours and somebody I actually grew up liking a lot.
Yeah.
His name's Eddie Dorenzo.
Yeah.
And we have to address it because he's your friend.
Yeah.
And, he won one of my fantasy football leagues a few years ago, and he didn't get paid out all the money.
Yeah, he's always pissed.
Yeah, I love him. But the thing that was fucked up about that at the time is, as this stuff is going on with these celebrities, I also got arrested twice. And so I'm already keeping up this high financial, risky business, which basically was booking comics all over the country and not sure if we were going to have a crowd or not. So I was just fucking
putting a lot of risks.
Putting shows together everywhere.
Yeah, okay.
I felt like if I wasn't taking a risk, I wasn't going to get anywhere. I was already doing this for 10 years at this point, Jay, not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
I love Dave Moon, and I think that, what upsets me about listening to his podcast really quick is that he used to have so much more fire. We'll get into his thing, but he used to have so much more fire that I felt like when I listened to it, I was kind of like, well, that's beating a dead horse, and it wasn't even anything bad. It's just like he's not doing comedy. He could say my comedy's horrible, but 9 times out of 10, I'm doing it and he's not. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like, how long are you gonna, talk about the Mike Epps tour? That thing happened 10 years ago. No one cares about that. Mike Epps doesn't even care about that tour. He does a new one every year. It's what are you gonna do for me now? Dude, I just drove to Florida to perform for 50 people in 2 different nights. And one night we only had 40-something people and then drove back just because now I don't have the luxury to perform for 300. You know what I mean?
I do respect that.
So when it comes to Eddie's situation, I just had to choose with a 7-year-old daughter at home, freedom or friends, and it was a tough decision because when I started working with Artie, I invested a lot into putting my own shows together with him to be on it. And then when he went to jail, they all got canceled. So I lost a good $20,000. Okay. And then I met Bam. I got a call from Bam's manager that when he had a party and some comedian there gave him my card because I do events. And they needed a comedian to go to Detroit to do a show. And there was 400 tickets sold. It was a Live Nation event. And nice. I drove up, and Bam never performed for a live audience. He's only done film stuff for Jackass and that kind of thing. And he didn't know what to do. And I said, dude, if I go out there and they laugh, come out with me and we'll do it together. If they don't laugh at me, you could just walk out the back door and fuck this place. You know what I mean? You're Bam Margera.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay. So I went out there in 5 minutes. We were at the shelter where Eminem's 8 Mile movie was filmed.
Nice.
400 white trailer park trash Bam fans. And they loved me. It was only about a 5-minute set, but they loved me. He came out. They're crazy. He was drunk as shit already.
Yeah.
His manager just feeds him booze when he gets nervous because he doesn't want him to beat him up.
So what did he do?
Bam came out. I just asked him a bunch of questions about the show and his past and Jackass and shit, and he answered them. And then we signed autographs and shit and bounced.
Wow. And
we got through it, And after that, he said, "Dude, Bam was like, I made $10,000 tonight, And I said, "How much of that was VIP and merchandise?" And he goes, About $6,000. And I go, dude, you got $4,000 for 400 people. They give you $10 a ticket. I was like, I said, I'm a shitty promoter and I could get you more money than that,
Yeah.
And so we went out to eat the next day, and a buddy of mine, Rodney Norman, is a 25-year comedy veteran. He loved to do this show. He's a great guy. He's a Mormon. He's from Utah.
Okay.
He would just come to watch my back. He's a really good guy, respected comic, but I'm from here. He's from here originally.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and he just wanted to watch my back because he knew it was a big opportunity, but there's 50 skaters, bro. They could beat the shit out of me and leave me in the woods. I swear to God, and nobody would even care. You know what I mean? Out in what I'm telling you, man, it's wild. But
really,
Rodney, we went out to lunch with Bam and his wife, and Rodney paid for the whole bill before we even got it. So it was kind of a smooth move. Bam pays for everything.
Yes.
And so I said to Bam straight up, I said, I want to be in your life to make money. I've had financial issues over the last few years, and if I can work with you over the next 12 months, I'll never have to work again because I'm better with money when I have it. I don't have to go rich. I'm not I don't need cars and shit.
Yeah,
I just need a normal house and shit. Yeah. If I made a couple $100,000, bro, I don't need nothing crazy. I need a podcast studio and I need to pay Eddie Dorenzo. You know what I mean? That's all I gotta do. He
will never forget it.
No, he won't. But he's a good kid. And I even told him, I was like, bro, my lawyer is a drunk dude that'll call me at any fucking time and threaten to go to the judge and get me locked up if I don't pay him. And so Eddie will threaten to kick my ass. And it's I'd rather get my ass kicked that day. You know what I mean?
I got you.
Okay. So real fast. And Eddie, I love you. I will talk to you soon. And so fuck Dave. Bam. I said, Bam, I want to be in your life for money. I want to make money with you. I said, but you can make so much more. And even if there's less people there, it'd just be great, you know? And he said, okay. Actually, he left and his wife said he'll do it. So we did a show in New York. We did a show in Connecticut that sold out at the Bijou Theater. Awesome time.
Where's that?
Bridgeport.
Okay.
200 seats. It was $100 a ticket.
Wow.
And then we did Pennsylvania. He had this big party, Castle Band party that had 4,000 people coming that the cops, 50 state troopers shut down. Mm-hmm. And I was all in the mix of that as the promoter.
Where was that?
Westchester.
Why'd they shut it down? Too many people?
Too many people, you know, too many people, not a permit, you know, all this stuff. We were charging like $500 to VIPs. Like,
wow.
We had Tony Hawk coming in.
Really?
Yellow Wolf was performing. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome.
We ended up moving the party. Bam, it was failed. And when they said they couldn't do it, I mean, when I say 50 cop cars around the whole property, so I was there and I couldn't leave. And so basically, he's at his house and I have to communicate with him by phone. And I was only there for the comedy tour. But once the event was falling apart, I was like, hey, Bam. I was like, if anybody has experience with failing in this business, it's me.
Yeah.
Let me take a hold of it. And we ended up moving the party to a skate park. But the cops stopped it there. Then we got a battleship in New Jersey to throw the party on there. And the cops stopped it there. 3 cities, Camden, New Jersey at that point. Yeah, they were calling everywhere. And then we found a warehouse brewery in the middle of nowhere. And with 4 hours to go, changed the venue back to Pennsylvania one more time, and 500 people still showed up.
Wow.
I did comedy for an hour. We had skaters. It was one of the craziest parties like I'd ever been a part of. And, Bam was like, thank you so much. I owe you. This was a $100,000 loss for me. You saved it. Like, wow. I owe you for the rest of your life. Like, we'll do the tours, whatever you want, set it up, this and that. Posting my shirt for sale, posting, Scumbag Vinny. We did radio shows and teaching me about reality. And then, now he's sitting with me and he's like, look, man, if we ever get on TV, like, this is your character. Novak, my old boy, was addicted to drugs. You don't like drugs, but you love money, right? So I'm going to always hold money over your fucking head because it's going to make you go fucking nuts. Every time I went crazy when he'd do something stupid, he's filming me. He's got so much film of me. I don't even fucking know what's going to happen with that one day. He'd have to be 50 and try to put something together. And anyways, he's a good dude, but he taught me all about it. And so I leaned into it. A lot of comics always talk shit about me for my failures in the business. Of course, I've had money issues and shit, so Scumbag Vinny was just
Everybody who's made a success out of their life has failed plenty of times. It's funny and ironic how people judge and talk shit about people who failed, but those will be the same people that will go around posting shit on Facebook and social media that say you gotta fail to succeed, like these stupid memes.
But they're not really failing.
Yeah, but then you're judging people for failing. Guess what? He probably experienced a lot more in life than most people. Why? Because he took risks, he failed, and
the one thing about me is I do always pay my debts. I have a book with
respect that
thousands of dollars of shit from the years that people probably forgot about and don't care about, But the thing about me is that I always felt like I was chasing something really big, and that once I got to it, it would just take care of everything. Yeah. So it's no excuse, Jay, but it's just weird, man. Now, if you asked me, I want to move to Florida and open up a comedy club that makes a steady income to pay my debts and live a good life. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. Like, I don't care about this no more because what you don't realize is that I booked after we did those few awesome tours and the staying at his house and everything, we had like maybe 4 sets of tours that he canceled. I lost $100,000 last year. So when guys like my money, and my investors' money, when guys like Eddie Dorenzo were hitting me up about old debts, it's like I want to so bad, but he just held it right here and then really ripped it from me because he wanted the reality to be real. Yeah. One time Bam posted on his Instagram that once a show canceled, we refunded all the fans. There's only about 100 people to refund, but he told 2 million people I took the money and went to Disney World.
Oh, why?
Because it's just 250,000 people came to my Instagram page.
Here's what I feel he does. He's lived in a reality world for so long that his world is a reality show. He's playing a character all the time, and that's what he's doing with you. Like that's real life. But he's playing.
Well, let me tell you how it worked. Before I did it, when I would just show up with Thrasher gear on and videos with shit in them, people would laugh if I was funny. But if I wasn't funny, they'd be, who the fuck is this guy? What the fuck? He's not even a skater, Bam. Who you doing hanging out with him? When I became Scumbag Vinny, man, and I was on the Come Town podcast, which gets about 250,000 listens a week. I was on 2 episodes. Episode 1, I was voted the worst guest of all time on YouTube because I overtalked Bam like I'm pretty much doing you.
Yeah.
And then the second episode, Scumbag Vinny was born. They actually named me on that show because of a lot of fucked up stories I told.
Yeah.
They would ask me really fucked up, funny questions.
Yeah.
And I just played into the answers. Like they said, would you ever sex traffic kids for Jeffrey Epstein? If you worked in an office somewhere selling, I said you'd have to call it something else. It was just a joke.
Yeah.
But that's what their fans want. Sex advice. Talk about pedophilia, whatever. There are articles about me online where I've been murdered, where I murder people.
What?
There's a cult following with this show.
Really?
So, another thing is, and I wanted to make a quick shout out to him, the Honda Hoarders Facebook group. And this is a great Facebook group, dude. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, there's 35,000 people in this group. It's a group where they buy and sell like quads and dirt bikes and that kind of thing. But they also raise money for kids who can't afford dirt bikes and shit to get their own. But basically, Vinny Staffa from East Haven made the group up. 35,000 people in there. And how this all Dave Moon thing started recently was that Vinny posted in the group, if you want free stickers, Honda stickers, text Vinny Beedle and say Team Dave Moon for the roast. So I got 1,000 text messages in a day.
So he's pushing the
pushing the threshold. Yeah. So he pushed the battle, and I messaged everybody back with a podcast, which I named Dave Moon is a Yamaha guy, which is an inside joke, meaning he doesn't ride Honda, he rides Yamaha. Once I did that, they all went and listened and said, fuck Dave Moon, So it became this huge inside joke.
Yeah.
Then I had BAM, they sponsored a video on Cameo, which is an app where your fans could pay a video.
Yeah.
So Vinny Staffa paid with Honda Hoarders Group to sponsor a BAM Cameo where he was supposed to be mad at me, but posted, go John Honda Hoarders, Scumtown Podcast, the best podcast in the world. And it went viral. We got 500,000 views on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff. So it really just fueled all of it. Like all of it together was just...
So now your beef with BAM really isn't real. It's reality type shit?
Yeah. I really did lose the money, but when you're around him long enough, you're going to make it back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I got people that donate to my podcast that live in different countries and shit, and they're really good fans. And he's not done with me yet. After I pranked him and had him promote my podcast without knowing, he texted me right away and was like, I want to do more with you. I want to be on your podcast. I want to do shows again.
Yeah.
So he does like me. It's just the people around him, like Steve-O hates me.
I'll tell you this much. Like, I don't know how much influence you would have, but I would love to try to get him here.
He'll do anything.
And I'll tell you why.
In.
Not even just about, because you know how my mind works, dude. I don't want to get in depth about his life.
His craziness.
In depth. Let's talk about what's really going on. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. People love that. People really want it. Like, they see you, and there's a
problem. Oh, dude, there would be 500,000 views tomorrow. He really has that kind of following.
Yeah, but I want people to see the real him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The real him.
Yeah.
And I think that he deep down wants people to see that, but he's afraid to let people see it because all they know him for is the BAM from TV.
You know how awesome he is? Let's say hypothetically down the road he got his shit together and we did a show like in Connecticut. If he drove up here from Connecticut and he has his own car, but then like I'll drive it or somebody else will drive it for the day. If I told his manager, pull up to my boy Jay's house, there's a radio show, and you just had him come in here and sit here with his wife and his kid toddler was around, I shit you not, he wouldn't even question anything.
Yeah.
He would not question anything because when he brings you in his circle, that's your job. Whatever that is. Get the show out there. We got to promote it. He just wants to be the celebrity.
Yeah.
Now, he's also got that following where he don't have to be on a radio show that has 100,000 listeners. You know why? Because he has the listeners.
Right.
All he has to do is talk about it,
I just don't think he's ever... I've never seen it, done something like that where he got a little bit in depth about himself.
Because even the Dr. Phil episode was fake. It's all a facade, man. This guy is a fugazi.
Yeah,
dude.
but that's the thing. I like realness, and I want to see the real.
You're gonna have him come on here if you want the real one. He's gonna be like, I've been famous since I was 13. I can't fucking take this no more. Dude, he doesn't even know what real life is like. He had 2 TVs in his editing room. One of them wasn't on, and I said, "Bam, turn on that TV too. You're editing your shit. Like, have both of them running." He's like, "I lost a remote for it like a few weeks ago," and I was like, "Dude, go get a remote at Walgreens, like one of those universal ones."
Yeah.
He goes, Walgreens. Oh yeah. He goes, "Can you do that?" And I became that guy that would, because nobody really talked to him like a normal person. They told me I was the most real person that had been around them since Ryan Dunn, and I'm not bullshitting you. Since the guy who passed away.
Yeah.
Because I would tell him, "Don't fucking do that," or call your manager up and tell him I said, "Fuck that, dude. That's stupid as shit."
I think that's important to be that person to somebody, because especially when they've never had that, or they've always
or they lost it like he did.
Or they lost it, or that, you know, their whole life people have been doing everything for them in reality. They need people to tell them and be real, because here's the thing, like I look at the I forget what celebrity it was that died, or Aaron Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
Right? Look at him.
I watched that whole documentary.
Yeah, but nobody was around him and said to him, like, dude, you need to chill out. You know what I mean? Nobody was real enough to say that to him.
Because they were scared. It's celebrities, dude. They get scared.
Yeah.
Listen. Bam has people all around him. And I'm not lying. I've had conversations with his wife, his mother, everybody, and I'm not knocking them. Everybody around him is scared. I was one of the first people. Listen, when that Castle Bam party was falling apart, his manager, his right-hand man, went up into his bedroom at the castle and just hid. I went up to the police officers and I said, listen, and I was already on probation. I said, listen, boys, we got 3,000 people on their way here. You want them out of Westchester? Let me go to BAM's, and let me move the party somewhere else. Yeah. I said, let me do that for you guys, because then we could all go home. Guess what? They escorted me over there.
Absolutely.
Once I walked into BAM's house, everybody's afraid of him. I walk in, all these people are in there, his family and shit. They're like, who the fuck is this kid? I said, yo. He goes, what's up? I go, dude, we got to do something. You know, like, we got to do something. You got people flying in from London. You got people driving from Wisconsin. We got to figure something out right now. You can't wait till fucking tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right? You want to hate me for it? I'll go home, brother. I don't care. I always used to say that to him. Yeah. You want me to fucking go home? I'll go home. Guess what? I don't want to suck your dick, man. I don't want You know, I used to say that to him.
There's jackass. Like that, yeah.
I'm Vinny Beedle, and this is hanging out with Bam. Like, I don't want to be like that. I wanted to kind of be somebody who would be like, Vinny's in charge. Guess what? Yeah. After that party went down, I shit you not, dude, and there's a lot more to it. His wife said, fuck Jack. Vinny's in charge.
Really?
Vinny's in charge. But guess what happened? The tough thing about it is Bam went crazy at home. He finally snapped, and the drunk shit he would do on the road, he did at home.
Oh, he was drinking a lot?
He just would, to get everybody pissed off. Imagine being famous, right? And everybody's like, Bam, you got to do this. You got to be better. You got to be this, right? And then he's just like, I'll go get fucked up right now and fuck your whole days up.
So he has, it seems that he's just, he needs to be in control, number one.
He's a child, bro. Yeah. He's a child in a 40-year-old's body.
Yeah.
He's 13 years old, professional skater. Tony Hawk 15 buys him a Lambo.
No.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk bought him a Lambo at 15 years old?
Yeah. Or a red Ferrari. He got a Lambo now. One of those two.
Yeah.
Bought it for him at 15, bro.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He was one of the best professional skateboarders to ever live, dude.
That's weird.
He's got cult followings of skaters that'll sleep like in fucking tents in his fucking.
Really? I never heard of him like that.
Let me tell you something. There was this one kid, Elazar, I used to bring on the road with me with Bam shows, and Elazar fucked me over bad and snitched me out to the cops. I got a DUI in Bam's area, but I wasn't driving. Elazar got caught with weed and told the cops, well, that kid just drove me to get it. And they started doing tests and everything, and once they wanted my blood at the hospital, and I passed all the tests. Once they wanted my blood at the hospital in Pennsylvania, if you refuse a blood test, you're automatically guilty. Yeah. They ended up throwing it out afterwards, and I'm dealing with that now. But the kid Elazar, after the cops left and everything, there's like 40 skaters, and Elazar's like, he's all drunk because this kid was an idiot, and he's like, dude, I didn't mean to rat on you, you know? I don't know why I'm trying to do a Bam with Elazar, but he was just sounding like that, and I was like, you fucking piece of shit. I got a fucking kid. I'm already on fucking probation. I'm going to go to fucking jail. You couldn't take a fucking ticket for weed. I'm blowing them up. And there's like these skaters come up. There's a bonfire. And they go, hell yeah, Vinny. I stopped. I turned around. There's like 20 dudes. They're like, you want us to beat the fuck out of this kid right now? I swear to God, Jay. I said, no, what the fuck? I said, Elazar, come on, let's get the fuck out of here. And I had to take this kid like by the ear because he's drunk and like get out of here because... You know, skaters are free-spirited dudes. They'll live under a bridge. They'll live in a camper. They'll live in a school bus. As long as they can skate every day and eat, they all look out for each other like an army.
Kind of like hippies.
And then when they get told that the castle's open and they could go live at Bam's for a few months, a bunch of them will go do it, you know? And they just go camp out there for a while. They even do now. There's skaters living there right now. There was one time where I was...
Outside?
At the ramp, they built... Let's say like a ramp is like a warehouse building.
Yeah.
They got couches like stapled to the walls, and they could climb up and sleep on couches all over the place and shit.
What?
It's like a compound.
Really?
Like nailed into the wall and shit, like up. So when like guys are flying in the air, they could hand them a soda or some shit. Super wild stuff, man. Some of the best skaters I've ever seen in my life. Wow. Like X Games dudes, guys who've been in Thrasher and shit like that. I met Danny Way, the guy he jumped the Great Wall of China on a board.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I met him. I got to hang out with him. Yeah, there's a lot of great things with it. You know, it's just a lot of headaches too. You know.
Now, all right. So the thing with Bam kind of dwindles out, right? Like, you still have a relationship with him now?
Yeah, we text once in a while. You know, it's tough because his wife really wants him to stay home all the time, so she'll block me from everything she could get because I'm his tour manager, really. You know what I mean? So when he's ready, I'll be here. You know, that's how it works.
Gotcha.
With Dave, you know, I don't really want to fight Dave. I don't want to, like, have any issues with him. I just thought that one show could be really beneficial to us both. Once he kind of
bit off it. I think a lot of people would like to see it. I would love to see it, to be honest, but Dave doesn't want it, I don't think. I know he said today on his Facebook that the podcast was the last time he will talk about you.
It's not going to happen because guess what? He said that before I could find it. Dude, and you know what else? Everybody in comedy has their own lane, just like podcasting. Uh-huh. So if Dave's here and I'm here, right, we don't ever have to collide and hurt each other.
Right.
So, but here's the thing. If I'm always going 100 miles an hour, and sometimes he's going 100, sometimes he's going 20, I feel like, and it's nothing against him, but the whole jail thing, which I never talk bad about him through all that because nobody deserves to go through any of that.
Right.
I've been through it myself.
Right.
So I never said one bad word about this kid on anything through anything from when he was in trouble until like now it's done. So I feel like, you know, we could fuck around a little bit. But to me, I feel like it's hard. Like he could say my comedy's trash. People laugh every night. I've had a residency at Atlantic City where I've headlined for a year straight and would make hundreds of dollars a night at Caesars Tropicana. Wow. I performed at Broadway Comedy Club. I've traveled up and down the East Coast producing my own stuff. And I've worked with celebrities. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't knock what he's done. And to me, it's just like, it's unfortunate that he's not able to do it as much. He lies a lot, man. Like, even his stag gigs that he gets a lot of and is known for, I've gotten like 30 of them in the last 2 years because probation wouldn't allow him to do them. So everybody would call me up, and I was making all the money, and I loved it. But for a while, I was like, man, I lost that, you know, like when a rivalry, if one of them's not doing good, then. So I want to see him get back there. We only do good if it's Tupac Biggie, not if one of them's a fucking bum, you know?
So you really don't have any ill will towards him? You don't
Nah,
have
man,
any
he pushed me to
him.
that fight. I never wanted to fight him. I was always friends with him.
What was that about?
Our beef was about, like, he would call me up and say, yo, I got 2 ounces of weed. It's $700. You want it right now? And I'm like so young, and I want 2 ounces of weed, and I don't have it. I'd owe it to him, and then I'd never be able to get the money. Or, like, he'd make me take bets with other kids, but then the kids wouldn't pay, and now I got to collect it. I'm, like, fucking fat and bald and shit. I wasn't bald then, but, like, you know, I'm a pussy. I can't do that shit. So after a while, I can't pay him, and he would be like, you're going to quit comedy because of me, you piece of shit. You know, I'm going to fucking end your life. And, you know, he would, you know, you don't know. You don't know somebody. And if they're a fighter, if they're scrappy, he plays a good role. He showed up to a show I was doing in Terminal 110 with like 3 or 4 friends, Mike Thompson, Joey Guidos when he was like 15, and all these other people came. And I'm like, fuck, everybody's telling this one black kid, Gary Alexis, with me. He's like, dude, you're about to get your ass kicked after this show. Yeah. So on the stage, I was like, yo, fuck this. You want to call my mom a whore? You want to say this stuff?
On stage, you're saying that?
I said, let's go the fuck outside right now and do this shit right now. And 100 people followed us outside. Wow. Now we're out there, Jay, and I'm like, there's a cop there too, New Haven cop. I don't want to say who. I don't even know who it was. But he was fucking there. And you know, like sometimes you just got to let it happen. Because, you know, you don't want a bigger thing to start. He was there with all those people outside, right? So he did the right thing. I'm not saying he didn't. You got to let that shit go. Well, nobody jumped in. Nobody, yes. And you don't want to make...
I'm not going in there with 100
And he knew we were the comics, too. He knew we were the comics. Like,
well, he probably wanted to see it.
He was like, yeah. So Dave, like, I was scared. I was so scared to fight this kid. I grew up, though. See, something I didn't know is I grew up with some tough-ass kids, like the Summers brothers, Peter, Frank, and Danny, and they would always beat on me. So the first... Dave didn't really hit me, but when he was like coming at me, I didn't really feel threatened. I started feeling like I might be able to handle this. And I'm like top heavy, and he tackled me. And all I remember is holding him and swinging as many times as I can. And after a while, I didn't feel nothing. I was really scared, Jay. Yeah. My hand hurt.
Because, I mean, let's be real. How many times are you getting into fights in your life?
No, not a lot, you know? And I just beat on the kid, and his eye was swollen, and he's bleeding from his lip. And I'm on the ground on my back. Yeah. And they pull him off of me. I was in as much shock as anybody. He tailed off like a villain from Batman in a car. Dude, he gets in the car, right? Out of here. All of a sudden, his boys are buying me shots. No. I go back in, I'm on stage killing it. Best night of my life, dude. It was awesome. It was redemption because he bullied me for a long time, you know? Yeah. And so I was just kind of like, I'm free from it. It was that moment I felt free. And so he started telling people after, I'm a sneak Beedle, I'm going to do this. And so I kind of kept the intensity up for a little bit just because I didn't want to get hurt. Yeah. Dude, that's what it boils down to.
You know, like, obviously I didn't have too many interactions with him when we were younger, a couple, and I don't think we were too fond of each other. We talked about it a little bit on the podcast, but, you know, that changes. And I base things on how you treat me, and that's how we go. But I'm just wondering if he's hopefully changing his personality to
Dude,
be more
he can
positive.
He doesn't have to be for me. He doesn't have
because all these stories I'm hearing, especially from you and a lot of other people,
like
I hear him being not so great of a person in the past. But I didn't experience this, so I'm just saying this is what I heard.
What I hear, it looks like he's changing because the old Dave would want all of this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I feel like, could we both make a couple $1,000? Yeah. Would it change my life? No. So I don't care, right? Yeah. I feel like at this point, and I'll be confident, I might not be as better of a comedian. I think he's a great comedian on stage, stand-up wise. Entertainer, you know, when it comes to fame, fans, money in this business, he can't touch me with a 10-foot pole. He only is relevant in this conversation because I went at him. Yeah. If he had come at me and I didn't respond, I have more pressing issues. I have fake fights with Bam and drama with Artie and all these things. Yeah. I want to see Dave become the best comic he can be. Here's where he fucked up. He used to tell me I'm going to be the best in East Haven. You introducing me as an East Haven comic is the first time somebody's done that. I'm a comedian.
That's just how I know you.
I can't make a living in East Haven. What am I going to perform in the center and then do a gig in Mamawgwin and circle back around Fox?
Yeah, right on the mound of the baseball field.
Right. So when Dave was focused on, okay, look, hold on. Could I have stolen $1 million worth of champagne and sold it for $60,000? Any idiot with 2 arms and 2 legs could do that, dude. As long as you know the right guy. I played the long game and said, okay, I'm going to have failures. I'm going to have successes in comedy. But at some point, I'm going to make probably, like, you know when he said minimum wage shit? Yeah. Let's say some nights I make a lot, some nights I don't. At the end of the day, I probably made more than him now, right? You know what I mean? Because he spent a lot of time with that fucked up shit. Sure. How I got arrested originally, and this is an easy way to sum this little story up, is a fan at a show that I grew up with, lived in Maine. He grows a lot of bud, and he brought me pounds of it as a gift. And when he did, I decided, I have a 7-year-old. I wasn't going to say no. I wanted to get rid of it. And
When was that?
This was right before I ended up working as an actor's assistant with an Adam Sandler movie for a good friend of mine who passed away. His name's Jim Barone. Rest in peace, Jim. He was an actor in the movie The Week Of. Uh-huh. And it was like 2 or 3 months before that. I would say 2017. So I get all this weed, and like he came to buy T-shirts at my crib, Vinny Beedle T-shirts, and he brought me 2 5-gallon buckets of bud, and you know, I didn't say no to it, and that was the biggest issue, the biggest mistake I made. The other mistake I made is not wanting it in the house. So I called up a bunch of friends, not really friends, my wife calls them acquaintances, right, and had them come pick it all up. No money involved because nobody has that kind of money. I don't want it here. Come get it, right? Yep. I lived in Middletown at the time, and all my friends came. They picked it up. And after that happened, one of them got pulled over with 2 ounces on him. And the cop said, where the fuck did you just get this? And he made up a story saying, the kingpin. You know, this guy's got 25 pounds. All this shit. He's going to have everything you ever need. They watched me for about a month. Now, I don't work during the day. I'm a comic.
Well, he snitched that hard.
Yeah, listen. You're going to love the story. So I'm sitting at home for a while, and I have like 2 ounces left that I kept for me. Only 2 ounces, because that's all I need for like 2 months, dude. I smoke a little bit every day, a little more now that I have the weed card. And I said, I'm good with this amount, you know. And I remember that day I had like $60 on me. I guess they were watching me for a few weeks, and they had the kid come back, and he said, dude, I can't, I don't have any money, but I need one more, you know. And I was like, dude, I got 2 left. I was like, I got you. You're my boy. Give me the money in a few months. I don't give a fuck. I owed people money, but I'm not going to sell this shit. This is the truth, too, because at the end of the day, Jay, I didn't expect it. And at the time, I was working, doing really well with comedy. It was before BAM and all that shit. And I had my own comedy club. Like, I was making good money. I felt like, I guess, like, kind of cool, you know, that, like, somebody did that for me, I guess. Yeah. And, like, oh, cool, they love my comedy. So, because people always throw weed in the tip jar and shit. Oh, really? So I was, because I tell weed jokes and stuff. Funny. So I was like, oh, great, this kid's, like, a grower. He probably was like, here, you know, this is respect. I grew up, you know, whatever, liking your shit. Gotcha. And I was like, cool, I've been doing comedy 10 years. Long story short, fuck, man. This kid comes again, I give it to him. Now I'm an idiot because now it's a controlled buy. Yeah. 2 days later, they knock on my door. 2 cops. I'm smoking a blunt. I die it out. I go answer the door. 14 cops, machine guns, fucking bulletproof vests. Damn. Rip my whole house apart. Yeah. $300,000 bond. Mine.
Ooh, big.
They find nothing. Yeah. I don't have anything in my house. Yeah. I have an ounce of weed and $60 and an iPad. Where the fuck is all the money? Where's all the weed? Where's all this? Where's all that?
That's how they were acting?
Bro, like a movie.
Really?
Sergeant came in. I said, dude, can you show me a warrant? I thought I was being pranked.
Middletown?
Yeah. I said, I thought I was being pranked. He goes, shut the fuck up. Your bond's $300,000. Shut your fucking mouth right now. I said, okay. I shut up. They didn't find nothing but the ounce. Said, where's the rest? Where's the rest? You know, I said, okay. They brought me down. I did, you know, that when they brought me down, I did ask for a lawyer. It wasn't even happening at that point. They drilling me. Now, they had a warrant for all my devices and everything. So they had everything. You know, they had a warrant for everything in my home. Yeah. They could take everything. So I said, okay. And they said, look, you really got this from a friend that lives out of state? And I said, yeah, you got my fucking phone, you idiot. It's right in the fucking phone. And they go, there's nothing we can do. They go, we're going to let you go. You're going to go into... Now, Middletown, if they arrest some black kid with no money, they're going to make him a snitch. That's how they do it out there. You're going to make him a snitch till the day he dies. They'll let him sell weed for the next 10 years, but he's got to keep getting them more people. You're going to go into every bar, and you're going to look for fucking whatever. Coke, pills. And I'm just sitting there not saying a word. I didn't have my lawyer at the time. But they're not keeping me. They let me go. They drop it to 150. And they say, we're going to call you. Every time we call you, you pick up. They had guys on the corner dressed in street clothes winking at me as I was walking back to my house.
Get out of here. This is, are you kidding me? This sounds like a movie.
I walk back into my home. Jessica's there with my sister-in-law. They're crying. They thought we got robbed. I said, no, babe, I got arrested. They're looking around. There's a clip of bullets. I never owned a gun in my life. A clip of bullets underneath clothing in my bedroom. And 2 shots were missing out of it. And I know this because then I called my lawyer, and that's how I met Patrick. And I'm talking to him on the phone. He goes, I know a lot of cops in Middletown. Stay put. I'm coming right there. He comes down. He goes, don't fucking touch that. Film it right now. You don't own a gun here. You never owned a gun. The warrant was good for 30 days. Okay? We call the police chief. He comes down with the supposed cop that dropped it. The alleged cop that dropped it. And he said, Vinny, you saved a cop's job today. Because, you know, you could get him fired and this and that. We're going to take it easy on you. I know you've had a hard day. I don't know why you didn't just throw it out in the dumpster. And I said, fuck am I going to do that? And you can go look in there. You know what I mean? I was like, I never owned a gun. Get this fucking thing out of here, man. I got a 7-year-old in the other room. Like, you guys, I told you I don't have the fucking weed, man. I gave it away. You know what I mean? And that was the end of that. Once I had my lawyer, they didn't text me anymore. You know, it was done with as far as that. And we went to court. And my judge just went to court and he said, look, man, Vinny's got a fucking problem. Not only is he addicted to fame, you know, but he's addicted to weed bad. He smokes every day. At that time, dude, I was probably smoking, because court and everything, I was probably smoking like maybe a quarter to a half ounce a day of bud. Just smoking as much as I could, you know, just I didn't want to go to another drug. Everybody in my family's been on pills and heroin. People have died around here. Like, I just was like, not to get too emotional, I was just doing everything I can to just not get fucked up on something worse. I just needed to fucking, you know, blaze it down every chance I could, you know, and I didn't want to lose my family. And so, dude, after that fucking, the cops leave, I get a call to go work on Adam Sandler's movie set. And then it took off from there. TJ, Artie, bam, my life changes. So that's how things work sometimes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, life hits you hard.
The DUI at Bam's house kind of sparked things up again. I did 100 hours community service. Dude, I went to fucking rehab with heroin addicts for 8 weeks. just to learn about it, because like I'm on weed. Yeah. Before I had my weed card, while I was waiting for it, I enrolled myself into inpatient. You're there for 4 hours a day, and I was helping groups and like learning about addiction and learning about arty shit and BAM shit and why they're like this, and just a lot, just learning about everything, because I said to myself, like, if I go to jail, man, that's why Elzar snitching on me is episode 3 of my podcast. Like, if I go to jail, I lose my girl, I lose my stepdaughter, I lose everything. Over what? Some weed.
Sometimes bad situations put life in a perspective where you realize what matters the most.
Yeah.
And I've been there a lot. Obviously, that was a situation for you. So, but it's funny how, like you just said, man, like, bad situation, then boom, your life is just up.
Dude, just like 30 days ago, they said to me, the DUI is getting thrown out, but it's not yet. And they said, we need you to take a felony and 3 years probation, or go to jail for 60 days and take misdemeanors. Or 90 days. And I can't go to jail. I ain't like Moon. I give him a lot of credit for that shit. I got titties, man. I'm getting fucked in jail. So I'm just joking, but like, I don't know. I think like, when am I gonna have to kill somebody? I know I'm never getting out because I'm gonna fucking do something nuts. Scumbag Vinny's gonna be in there getting pats on his face and shit. Shit. So I'm like,
I got a guy if you need that.
Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, man. Like, what am I gonna do? And then, I actually, after that, the weed card came in. Okay. And we submitted that. Now they've enrolled me back into the drug program, except when I start in a couple days back in the drug program again. But I go there and show them my medical card, and I don't pee dirty for nothing else, Jay. Like, weed is it. So once I pee clean, I'm good. I go back to court, and this is all over with.
Yeah. So when you do your pee test, it excludes the weed because you have a prescription.
Yeah. So once I prove that, I have to do that before August. They usually do it a year out once they reschedule it in court, but they gave me 6 months, so I got to stay out of trouble for 6 more months. Yeah. And pee, just for my prescription, and then I'm actually done with all this after 3 years, man. So, and all that time, this cost me over $30,000 in lawyer fees. Yeah. Not lawyer fees, restitution, like. Classes, community, everything, all of it included. Traveling to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for court, all this stuff. $30,000 almost in 3 years. And that was really the source of all my financial problems. But I didn't want to tell people, even Eddie, like, I didn't want to tell too much about what's going on, because people in East Haven started saying I was a snitch. How could this kid get arrested for all that and not snitch on people? And the bottom line was that it was one of those circumstances where somebody already snitched and there was nothing for them to find, So cool story though, man. I really I think that is something that made me a man. It really did.
Yes, absolutely.
And it made me respect your profession so much more, because even though there were a few guys obviously doing that little, I felt bad for the guys that were making me do that and trying to make me do that. I felt bad for the young black kids in Middletown that don't have lawyer money. You know what I mean? And they're put in that position. But I also understand they're getting a big break for doing something stupid, right? So it's like a deal, right? Let's make a deal. But it made me respect your profession more, because there was one dude that pulled me to the side. Like, I've always known you, but I knew you even years ago, and I didn't know you. I knew you as a friend, not as a cop, right? I didn't have cop interactions with you. You AT&T when I worked at AT&T and shit like that. So when you would come in for like cell phone cases, we would talk a lot and tell you about my comedy. Yep. But the thing about it is that when you're going through that situation, I didn't have any family. All my family was disowning me and everything. My girl was there, but there was one cop that kind of felt like it was not the right thing that they were doing. Yeah. And he keeps in touch with me still to this day. Yeah. Really? That's
interesting. That's a good guy.
I don't talk about his name or anything.
Yeah.
Just because he's popped up to a couple random shows. He came to an Artie Lang show.
Oh, that's nice.
And I recognized him, and I didn't, because, these guys are undercut. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And he just goes, Vinny, I just want to let you know, like, you were telling us, and I just didn't believe it at first. But now he's like, this is awesome. You know? Yeah. There's like 300 people at a theater in Connecticut for Artie.
So why, you were telling the cops that you were a comedian and shit?
I was like, dude, I make my money doing stand-up. Like, I had a weed podcast me and Jessica started, and they were watching that for 3 weeks. So they would watch my podcast on YouTube about weed, and they're like, this kid's a fucking, Willie Nelson over there. And they said they tried charging me with a drug factory, but I only had the cans that you use for dabs, the butane cans, but I guess you could make it with that. So they were submitting shit that wasn't going to hold up. But the one thing that they did have evidence-wise on me, which is the big thing, is I'm an idiot, and I'd always write stuff in a book. So I wrote down when I gave it to them, who owed me what, because I would have forgot. So that was the thing that made it. That was the stupid part. That's selling weed. You know what I mean? I could give it to you and you could pay me later. That's selling weed. So I have admitted to, doing it, but they put me in programs and shit like that. You know what I mean?
That's usually what they do. I mean, that's a lot of how the court handles it for the most part, especially if it's your first offense.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever got arrested, really.
I find that really cool that one cop was like that because, I feel like I said this before, like the way I kind of do my job is I really look and say like, who is this person? Do they deserve this right now? You know what I'm saying? Like you're taking freedom away from them. You're taking a lot away from them and then causing a lot in their future. And I think that we often get like lost in this whole cops and robbers type life.
My opinion on it is this, right? I watch a lot of live PD.
Yeah.
You guys never know which one of them's gonna kill you.
No, very true.
You never know, even if it's a friend from school.
It's crazy, bro.
That'll be the thing that throws you off. I'm not saying it like it'll happen, God forbid. But I don't have any ill will toward police officers. I've had good experiences with most of them. I've had a few scumbags, but hey, I'm Scumbag Vinny. It doesn't mean just because you're a cop, you can't be a scumbag.
Yeah, but you know what it is. Like I said, all my experiences with you, even though I heard stories, were respectful. So you've always been respectful to me. So I would think that you are respectful to authority.
Oh yeah, every time I've ever gotten arrested, you could tell these guys just want to let me out the back door because I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I'm an idiot. I make them laugh. When Elazar's weed in Pennsylvania, they took us both in. He still got charged. The kid who snitched on me. All he said, we were near our car. And the cop said, I smell weed on you. He pulled it out of his pocket, and he goes, I was just with him. We just came from a show.
What an asshole.
What an asshole, right? And it was all in the police statement and shit. And so anyways, when we're there, I walk back in to the police precinct, state troopers, and it smelled like stinky butt in there. And I go, smells good, boys. And they're all laughing, I have a cousin who's a state trooper. One of my good friends from East Haven is a cop.
Okay. Cool.
Shout out to Dave Olson. He's an East Haven cop. He's one of the only old school. He's not a cop no more. But when I was a teenager, he let me go every fucking time. I should be in jail right now. This guy let me go all the time. I don't know. It's not even about letting go. There are people too. And that's what this podcast, I hope, shows my listeners.
Yeah.
Who might even be skaters who hate cops and shit like that. Is that you're just a dude,
The thing is this, like, I try to tell people too, like, that's just my job. That's just what I wear. You know what I mean? I always tell people, the one thing I tell cops, like, I always get young kids that come up to me and they're like, I want to be a cop, this, that, whatever, or I'm going into the academy. And the one thing I always tell them is just don't change who you were before. Yeah. Because.
Well, you're one of the realest people I've ever met in that aspect.
Well, listen, I love the fact that people think that of me. I don't try to boast about that because I just realized in life that you gotta be yourself to be happy. You gotta be yourself to be happy. And I don't. It's not about being real and being this and being that type of person. It's about being happy. And I can't be any other way. I can't conform. Like I have no problem following rules and doing my paying my taxes and doing all these things. But I have to be myself. Yeah. I can't change who I am inside of me.
Hell no.
Because and
it's a job, man.
And I'll tell you though,
but it is a job.
It is.
When you're done with it, it's not like you see something on Facebook and you're like, let me go pick this fucking kid up.
But it's a job. You know what's crazy about the job is society doesn't let you forget about it. Yeah. Ever. So imagine
that could be very hard.
It's very hard because and neither does the job. They want you to know all the time that you are this person. And that's fine. I respect that, and I understand why. But, you got to be able to let go and just be, society doesn't want that.
Well, because the thing is that they say, okay, you're a cop, you're supposed to be perfect. No one's perfect. And I'm just saying, how could you line up 10 cops and say, well, they were little boys at one point. They were teenagers. Yeah. They did this. They did that. And a lot of it, too, is, once you're a cop, usually the past is the past, I guess, and then you're kind of like fresh, clean slate.
Should be, yeah.
But, with me, it's like, I got to tell you, with the stags I have done and stuff, I've done tons of stags where it's like all cop guys. Yeah. And I always just make jokes about shooting black kids and stuff like that. So I feel like I have a cool following when it comes to law enforcement. Geez. Artie's been a big guy that had law enforcement fans. It's funny, when I heard Dave on the podcast, he was like calling my comedy vicious and shit. You don't get booked for those gigs unless you're vicious. He's vicious too. He's gotten chased out of those fucking shows. Mike Miller, Anthony Miller's dad, chased him out of a fucking show because he made fun. I swear to God, dude, he made fun of his shirt or something. And it was fucking, I'm gonna whoop your ass. So that's. I swear to God, Dave needs he needs a redemption episode. Your fans need to know the real Dave. You know what I mean?
Well, I think what he needs to do is this. He has to decide, like,
for himself.
Well, who do you want to be? Or do you want to be a comedian, or do you want to be
a gangster?
Well, I hope he's left that life.
Okay, but dude, that's still what he talks about every time he's on a podcast. He's not doing comedy podcasts, man. He's doing jail podcasts. He's doing podcasts with a cop. He's not going out there doing shows. You know, he's not going out there doing auditions.
That's why I want to see more of that. I do hope that because if it's his passion and it's something that he loves to do and he's talented at it, then I don't like to see people give up on that.
Let's say he's a comic and he does a show in New Haven. Let's say a couple people go there and they love it so much they start coming to my shows. You know, or let's say they go there and they don't like them and they start coming to my shows. It only helps if we're all doing it, you know? He needs to focus less on the side hustle and put that effort into this. There are some podcasters, man, that I'm friends with that make $50,000 plus a month just in subscriptions. Come Town Podcast, just in their Patreon, which is bonus content, $52,000 a month. The Chapo Trap House podcast, there's like 5 of them that run it, 150 G's a month.
Wow.
So he's going to say, I ain't chasing the clout. I'm chasing the bag. That's what he wants to tell people. Look, it's like a guy who goes to jail and he gets out and there's TVs and there were never TVs. We got to let him know, like, buddy, we got to catch you up to speed, man. You missed a few things. You know what I mean? You know, I'm telling you, I'm trying to help the man.
Yeah.
Listen, he got into comedy not because he was looking for open micers to do Stags. He had been booking me for Stags before he was a comic.
Yeah.
I said, Dave, you're a funny dude. Push it.
Yeah.
Push it. He went on stage a few times drunk because he was afraid. I kept pushing him. I was there his whole beginning of his career. We used to travel every day together, you know? Yeah. But the only reason I was with him is I was a young kid without a car. He had this nice car, all this money, and that's what he used to entice me to, like, dude, I remember I'm like trying to do comedy and we're supposed to do 3 shows in 3 days. So I'm stuck with him the whole weekend. And there's a time where like one of his cousins stole a trailer from his dad's work and he had to put me on the farm so I could sneak in the back to take a picture of the guy's license plate to prove it was there. And I'm like, Dave, I want to go to Bristol and do an open mic. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking do this.
He was like trying to be like a mafia guy, like with his little.
It's East Haven for you, bro. Why do you think you wanted to be the East Haven comic? You wanted guys to go, oh, this fucking guy, you know? Nah, man. I want to be out there performing for rednecks, black people, Spanish people, Asian people. Yeah. I want everybody to fucking love Scumbag Vinny. Because if anything, if they don't like my comedy, what they're gonna take of it is. It's the American dream, dude. If you could be a fucking professional scumbag and not even like in the sense, but if the character's there and people, dude, every band posted my t-shirt Scumbag Vinny and every Vinny in the world's a scumbag. So they're all like, I need 2 of them, baby, in case one goes bad.
That's a great
It's just a
shirt,
funny thing, you know?
That probably sold. That sold well?
Yeah, it did. Not as well as I wanted to because you need more than one plug, you know? You need to keep going. I got 2 million views on TikTok a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't really know much about that yet.
Get it going just because you could post little clips like a 1 minute at a time of the podcast. And it's really hashtag based right now. So if you tag me and put hashtag Bam Margera, hashtag Vinny Beedle, like you might get 10,000 views tomorrow. You know what I mean?
I gotta try that.
Yeah, I got 1 million views on one of Bam's videos of him just ranting about the party from last year, you know, and it got 1 million views. So,
sick.
You know, 50,000 followers. It's like, I'm humble, man. Like, believe me, I hate looking at my numbers when there's 200 views for the week with the podcast. Gotta start somewhere, man.
Yeah,
gotta lay those bricks. Gotta lay those bricks.
I tell people you gotta keep it moving. Like, don't wait. Like, you can sit there all day and plan.
That's what he's doing. He's doing that. That's what he's doing, man. He's planning. Look, what are you planning? Like, Mike has to come back around, pick you up in a van, and you hit the road, and happily ever after with Day. Like, we need to formulate a plan. We can do it together. We can do it separate. But like I said, the lanes, you know. Absolutely. And right now, if he's not going nowhere, then this is the last time I'll fucking talk about the guy. And I promise you that'd be the last time he ever talks about me. Well, you know what I mean? It's like,
I'll tell you this: if you guys get a show, I'd love to be a sponsor of that.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. Absolutely. You should host it, man.
I would love to.
You just got to fucking host it and keep the peace,
I'm
you know?
down.
Like, who's going to fuck with you in the middle of us?
It's all about for love.
It's all love.
Because at the end of the day, that's what you guys are doing it for. This is your passion. You guys love comedy. And you know what? I'd love to make that happen.
Yeah, like when he said it was WWF, dude, how else are people going to listen? No offense to him or me. we're huge losers in the long scheme of things, man. Like, no one wants to hear shit from him or me. Maybe the first sign of people being interested in either of us on Facebook in a while was this.
Yeah.
So, like, if it sparks something else.
True, yeah.
And if he doesn't want to do it, I promise you, I will just pay a homeless guy to pretend to be Dave Moon. And I'll still do the show and market it because that's the Scumbag Vinny move.
That would be pretty funny, actually. Let's get on another topic of what's going on with this flyer going around with some show you were supposed to be sponsoring, and now people are saying that nobody agreed to it.
Right. So this is a good story. So Facebook buzzing yesterday, this is going to come out Saturday, so we'll say Monday, Tuesday, right? It was buzzing around because there's a comedian. His name's Chris Clark. And Chris Clark's from Bridgeport, one of the most professional, funny comedians that this state has ever, produced. He, went out for BET, it got picked up, and then it didn't go. He's been on the cooking channel. He does snack reviews with like 30,000 followers. He's a successful guy. He's told me in the past stuff like the code of comedy, which is like if a promoter hits him up and he's booking the other comics, not to really fuck with it. You know what I mean? Because that's his money, And I used to follow along with his lead because I didn't want real issues with anybody. Nowadays, I can give it two shits, really, because I feel like if somebody's going to do something to try to hurt me physically, they're going to have to really try because I have a lot of built up, like, aggression and, like, shit I've been through that, like, if somebody tries to attack me, I could defend myself.
Yeah.
I can at least put it, if you're going to beat the shit out of me, you're going to get hit with one or two before I go down, Chris gets upset with me because, all right, so 2 weeks ago, I get hit up by a promoter named Jaheim. Jaheim is a guy who tries to fake it till he makes it. Every promotion company opens up is the biggest thing since Ice-T, but it's not really there yet. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Smokes weed and shit. Misunderstood because he's fucking 6'6", 6'7", and got like dreads and shit, but when you meet him, he's a teddy bear, dude. You hug this guy, you love him. And so I said, dude, if you want, we had a show in the past that didn't work out, and I was like, I know you're probably skeptical about paying me since, he's the one who fucked it up last time. I said, but I need $300 if you want to do the show. It's supposed to be in West Haven or Hamden. I deliver him a contract. He says, I don't have Cash App. I needed the money. So I said, Jessica, drive down and meet him. My wife drives me down. The DUI, I don't have a license right now. Yeah. So drives me down. I pick up the money. The next day, he hits me up and he says, hey, I also have this other show downtown New Haven at Rise for St. Patrick's Day on Tuesday, March 17th. And I've been promoting it for a few weeks, and tickets aren't selling to this show. And he knows I hustle and sell my own tickets. Comedians don't do that in this business, Jay. Yeah. They don't do it. Dave wants to get booked, come in, I'm famous, get paid $100 and leave. I'd rather hustle my ass off till I'm sweating and go in and there's 50 people and $20 I made $1,000. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's really the difference between us. So when he hit me up, I said to him in text, I got all this on text message. I said, Jaheim, the show's already booked, man. Like, so Chris, I know Chris made the flyer. I was like, hey, it's probably all right. We just stick with the last deal. He goes, nah, man. He goes, you sell 100 tickets, I'll give you 30% of the revenue for the whole night. We need it. We're a few weeks away. And I say, dude, I'm like, you give me another 300 right now and I'll do it. The reason is I've been fucked in New Haven 100 times by these promoters. And I got to get paid to get off the couch, bro. I don't care no more. Like, I don't care. I have my value for me.
Yep.
Dave has his value for him. Bob has his value for him. My value for me is a little more than most people would pay. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
Now, my time is also worth my time. So if I come here for nothing, that's my choice. You know what I mean? Yes. I could go work for BAM and dealing with punches in the face once in a while and crazy shit. I'll get $5,000 for a night. Yeah. I might go work in Hamden tonight after this and make nothing, but I love it. It's for the love, right? Yeah. So that's where my career's at. I choose what I want to do.
That's great.
So with this situation, I said to myself, okay, I'm going to take another 300. So now this guy's invested 600 in me in 2 days. We got 2 shows coming up. He's fucking serious. Yeah. The flyer's nice. I posted up on my page. Chris hits me up, and this guy actually thinks, because of my history as Scumbag Vinny, that I actually catfished him from a fake account and Jaheim Martin does not exist, and that I did all this just to book a guy from the cooking channel. I mean, let's be honest, man. Let's just call it for what it is. He was an idiot for saying that. He talked to him on the phone and shit. I think it's just one of those, like, Chris wanted to fuck me because I was put on the show. Yeah. Like, he did.
So he didn't have any say and it just happened.
No.
He's probably pissed about
that.
that.
Yeah. Because he already booked a couple other comics on the show. One of the comics I'm friends with. The other comic I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
Well, he's probably pissed because
he booked the show.
That and you're taking money out of people's pockets.
Maybe I am, but guess what? If you would have tried to sell tickets, the guy wouldn't be looking elsewhere.
Very true.
You're from Connecticut. You're on the road. This guy, Chris Clark, performs all over the country, opening up for the Hodge twins. I don't even know who they are, but they're famous.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
he performs all over the country.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. It's good. It's a great thing. But you got a show in Connecticut you're supposed to be getting maybe $600-700 from, and you can't put it out there and start selling tickets because you're above it, or you got another gig in town that's paying you a little more. I ain't like that. So the guy calls me up. I take the dude. I ain't gonna turn down money. I don't care who you are.
That's business.
This is business, you know. So long story short, Chris hits me up on the catfish. I'm laughing at him. I'm like, dude, are you? I put it in Stewie in an insane jacket. I'm like, are you crazy? I booked on the show. I got his number. If you want to call him, call him. So he goes, give me his number. He calls him. And the problem was, I guess Chris agreed to a certain price. Now it's this because he found out that I got paid a $300 deposit. And he hasn't even been paid yet.
Oh.
But you don't listen. Biggest problem with comedians, you don't ask. Yes. You know what I mean? I need a deposit. I need this. Chris is mad that he doesn't have his bag secured. Vinny has his bag secured. So guess what? He told me, Vinny, are you still doing the show? I ain't returning the $300 because guess what? My light can't get unpaid. You know what I mean? Yeah. I can't call the UI company and say Jaheim made a mistake. You know what I mean? That's it. I get my money. My girl pays the bills, bro. Because I spend, I gamble, I'm a fucking degenerate. So she's got to make sure our home is taken care of first, you know? And, well, I used to gamble a lot, but, you know, I've moved past that a bit. You know what I mean?
A lot of people I know gambling, man. I've never gotten
Well, when you make fast money, I used to sell cars and shit. I can only say it's from fast money. I know with Dave, it's fast money. You know what I mean?
People like that.
People are fucking scumbags, Jay.
People like it. They like fast money, I guess.
You know, so long story short, Chris hits me up and goes, you still doing the show? I say, yeah. He goes, I won't put nothing up about you. We had this whole conversation. I just going to blast this guy. I said, go ahead. I'm going to make a new flyer with a whole new lineup because I got paid. So if your guys ain't coming, I call up one of the comics that he crossed out. So he puts up a flyer and crosses out everybody but me. Doesn't say nothing. Everybody assumes I fucked him. You know, I'm Scumbag Vinny. So he fucked me real good, you know?
Yeah.
And after he said he wasn't going to fuck me. Now, this guy's a 20-year comedy vet, somebody I've always respected. But I call him up, and I'll tell you right now, Jay, I didn't threaten him. But I said, if you don't take it down, we have a fucking problem. I'm 5'9", bald, and I'm fat. I don't give a fuck. I said, you want to fight me about this post? We'll get down to that because this is my life. People bash me for good reason. I'm all for it.
Well, here's the deal.
I know. It's like you can't pick apples and oranges, right?
No, it's not that. It's that I see it from your point of view. You're saying, like, listen, now, like, future business is going to be fucked because of this.
Well, they think I fucked him and I didn't. You know what I mean?
But that affects your future business.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what you're saying.
Yeah. It affects thousands and thousands of dollars in future business. Some people that come to my shows all the time go, wait, Vinny did this? People are sharing it going, Vinny, what's up? You know, this. Now, listen, the Scumbag Vinny character, if I'm playing a character and I'm not really fucking people anymore, let's see, I was probably fucking people right up until about last year. Okay. And when I mean fucking people, I mean like if a bar paid me $1,000 and nobody came to the show and they said they wanted their money back, I would say, look, I'll do another show for you. But I'm not giving you your money back. And then I become the bad guy. Let's say we book a show with a comedian and I promise him $300 because I'm excited, but then he never shares the flyer or promotes it, and then I do it all, and then we're short like $50. I'm the bad guy. So you know when you do enough and you fail enough, you become the bad guy enough. So but
a
now
lot of people want things to succeed without putting the work in.
Of course. So I put the work in, and then when it fails, it all falls on me. Even bam, it goes to the highest level of that. You know, the reason I'm gonna succeed is I don't give a fuck. I'm used to it. So now that I've taken
failure.
Now that I've embraced failure and Scumbag Vinny's a thing, I've decided to not fuck people no more. I'll do shows where I've decided to. I've decided to. You know why? You know why? Because now I've built a brand. The brand is there. The people have been fucked. I can now go back and not only repair all the fuck ups I have, which I know.
You're in recovery.
I am in recovery. Bro, I went to rehab for 8 weeks for fame fucking rehab. I swear to God. Heroin addicts are like, I fucked up, guys. I shot up last night. And I'm like, yeah, I texted Bam this morning. I know how it is. I swear to God, dude. You know, it's fucking like that for me. So I end up saying to myself, okay, Chris, I'm not, you know, like we're arguing. He says I threatened him, so now we're going to fight, I guess, which will never happen because he's a grown man and he's like 40 with kids, and like his schedule is a lot busier than mine, and mine's pretty busy, so we're just never gonna if we run into each other and it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I don't give two fucks either way. But I found another Chris Clark, so I'm going to book him on a show.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Chris forgets I've known him for 10 years, and he used to bitch about another Chris Clark out there. So now I'm going to take this guy on a world fucking tour, man. I'm going to take this Chris Clark to fucking Saudi Arabia if I have
hilarious.
to.
That's hilarious.
And Davey's still doing the show. So
yeah. What? So that's what
Davey's
I wanted to
cool
ask.
with me, man.
Is the show still happening?
Yeah, we're still going to do the show.
You're going to do it too?
This Tuesday. No, I'm taking over the whole thing now.
Oh, so he's out.
He's out. He's fucking out. And he tried to call the guy and ask for more money. And I said, look, I'm taking over now. Now you want to play Cowboys and Indians. I'm the sheriff, buddy. That's what happens. Because look, once I got somebody's money and I have I called the club owner who the guy Jaheim didn't even give a deposit to yet. And I said, look, I ain't giving you a deposit because it doesn't work like that. I bring the people, they buy your drinks. That's how it works. That's any promotion, like DJing or anything. So I said to him, open the doors. I told the guy, I'll pay the $500 this time. Guess what? Jaheim gave me $6. All right, now I'm losing that $5. I'm up $100. But now I got a new venue that me and this kid Jaheim, I'm going to show him how to do it right. We'll run shows. And then when I'm living in Florida on vacation in a year, because my plan up here is going to put me there, this guy will run shows I could fly in for and do. So I'll pay that $500.
So that's your plan right now for the future?
That's every day. I do this all the time. This is my business. I sit there and I master my different shows.
So you're working full-time as a comedian right now?
It's been like that for years since I left AT&T.
That's great.
I got a promotion. I set a countrywide record for authorized retails for selling the most direct TVs out of anybody in the entire country, signing people up for direct TVs. I won like 16 awards selling everything.
'cause you could talk.
In AT&T, and they offered me a job for like $150,000 a year to drive around and teach people how to do it.
Wow.
And then I turned it down, and I said to my wife, I said, if I can drive around and do, I'm not going to see you anyway. Let's chase this thing. And this is what it's been the last like 4 years.
Successful?
Yeah. The failing sucks, man. My business, my investor, I'm down 150 G's in the last 4 years. But to start a successful business,
you have an investor?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
I do.
interesting.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. He started off giving me a couple $100 for a show, and then it just spiraled into a mess. You know what I mean? But he's my best friend now, and he believes in what I'm doing. You know, and he put in $100,000 of the 150 alone. I've put in the other 50 with work I've done and different things like that. I've invested over $150,000 into Vinny Beedle, the comedian. So, and that includes shows failed with Bam. Most of that money is from Bam fucking me over. Yeah. But I looked at it as like, okay, well, do I have $100,000 worth of value with the fans that he's given me and potential people who already know my name and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Right. And so, I mean, in comedy, people that are watching comedians would say, I don't even have $6 to buy a pretzel at a bar. How did this guy make all this money and lose all this money? Yeah. The fact is I don't ever stop. That's what I'm saying. If I'm at 100 miles an hour, even if Dave was at 50 miles an hour, he could never catch me. Right now, that's why I'm like, if I bring him up to speed, I could bring him up to speed just by fucking arguing with him. You know what I mean?
That's what I respect, man. I will say that. I respect, after sitting down here talking about this, how your work ethic is. And I'm a big fan of work ethic for anybody.
I mean, the only reason I'm fat is I only eat highway food. You know what I mean? I swear to God, like, I work so much at this that I'm afraid that one day I'm putting all the energy into the wrong thing. So we've been sitting down and trying to take the losses from the past and reconfigure a new plan. I'm moving to Florida in July. Okay. I'm going to open up a 7-day-a-week venue that is going to do stand-up for tourists. I mean, 80 million tourists go there every year.
Smart idea.
Yeah, I don't care about celebrity anymore. I've done it in Atlantic City where I would make like $500 a day.
Probably got some connections to get some pretty decent people there.
Actually, yes, I can do that. Yeah. And I went to Florida this weekend, and I got booked for like 6 gigs, a casino near Miami in Hollywood, Florida. It's the Pontiac Casino or something like that. And then I got booked at a new piano bar that's opening up in Florida and a couple little beach spots. So
yeah, there's a lot more opportunity, I feel like. Besides New York, you know,
I just need a fresh start.
That's good.
You know, and then it could lead to me coming back here into having a bigger following. Yeah. You know what I mean? People who miss me and stuff like that. So
you don't really have a plan of how long you're staying.
My wife wants to stay forever. Yeah. You know, she loves Disney World. Bam always joked to me because I went to Disney a bunch, so the Mickey Mouse hat. Like, he always used to say I would fucking suck Mickey Mouse's dick and shit. So, you know, Disney to me and my fans, they love it. I mean, I made a shirt, Get Beedle Back to Disney, and people were buying it just to get me there, you know?
That's great, yeah.
So, I love my family, my little girl, my stepdaughter. I've been with her for 5 years. I'm like her dad now, you know? So, those are the things that I know you're not a family guy yet, huh?
I'm not. No, I mean, I'm still searching, still trying to get that.
You're a good dude.
But I had a lot of stuff going on in my life that, you know, I had to take care of prior. And I'm the type of guy where if I know I can't give all of myself to everything,
I get that.
I have to get it done. I get that.
When you find that one, my girl gives everything in the world. and I take care of everything I can.
Yeah.
So there are some months she doesn't even have to work a day because I'll just make sure everything is taken care of because she'll drive me at the drop of a hat to Detroit to meet Bam.
Yeah. Team.
Team. We are a team. She's a blogger, makeup blogger. She does her own stuff and everything.
I love that you both are creative. You both are like working towards doing what you want to do.
I love her so much. I don't ever want to get in trouble again.
Yeah.
You know,
that's great.
Scary.
That is what shows how important family.
And we've been through our shit just like every other relationship.
Yeah, relationships aren't perfect.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And guess what? I'm sure it's the hard times in those relationships that brought you to this point.
Absolutely.
And that's what you really appreciate the most. You say, wow, I couldn't have done it without this person.
Yeah, I can't.
For real.
I would, because I did it for 10 years without her, and the biggest claim to fame I had was beefing with Dave at that time. Now it's just like a Tuesday for me. I just want him to take from this if he hears it and just know, like, I'm not trying to gloat and say, like, I've done so much better in this and that. It's like the kid was in jail. There's nothing he can do. You know what I mean? Yeah. But now it's like we have an opportunity where, like, I always thought he was funnier than most of the guys around here. Even when I hated him at the most, I'd have shows where the comics suck so bad, I'd be like, man, I wish I could just pay Dave to fucking be here. Yeah. So, like, you know, and when he says, you know, I don't pay comics and this kind of stuff, it's like, ask him about my real experiences with him at the beginning when we worked. Did he ever get stiff for money doing these shows?
Yeah.
The answer is no. I gave him his first paid gig. You know what I mean? I've started a lot of comedians in the state, giving them careers because I've given them the path. And maybe if they've hated what I've done, they've done it themselves better. Yeah. Or if they love what I've done, they've taken it and done something with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I have next week a guy coming on, Ian.
Ian's the best, dude. Yeah. He's one of my
so
partners in crime.
He committed to me today. Let's hope that that definitely happens.
He does court audio. He already told me he is.
Yeah. So,
he does court audio with WPLR.
Yeah, cool.
He spent time with me in Atlantic City. He's from East Haven. He knows the moon beef. He knows everything. And he's funny, man.
I'm happy to, you know, like, this is what I like about this show is, like, just people reaching out to me, wanting to come on and feeling comfortable enough to tell their story and talk about themselves and their achievements.
I mean, Ian's got a lot of his own past. Everybody has their own story. You know what I mean?
And listen, our past really does mold our future. You got to let go of the past, certain things that can be negative, but you know, you have to understand it, and that's what makes you this person now in the present day. Vinny Beedle, the man, he came on, he told his story. I'm so proud of you. Like, from just like seeing you from back in the day and where our lives grew and all these things, and that's why I like staying connected with people that I've came across in my life. Happy to talk with you again. And your work ethic, bro, is like something that hits me.
That's why most people are probably like, how the hell does he owe anybody money with that kind of work ethic? I picked the wrong business. If I was working selling fucking mufflers, I'd be a millionaire.
Right.
You know, but it'll get there.
There's up and downs. This is the business. And I guess like what you see in the movies and what these comics always talk about, how hard it is and the failures, it's the truth.
Oh, I sleep in my car to this day. I bought a fucking Subaru where I have a bed in the back. They sell a mattress for it.
Yeah.
So sometimes if I don't get paid enough, I'll still do that. I mean, I'm 12 years in trying to do that shit still. Yeah. So, you know, look, man, I would have been at a different place in this room years ago. Like, what I'm saying is Dave did this way too late. You know, not only should he have come on after I came on, but now people are going to look at it and say, well, Vinny sure has fucked up a lot, but at least he's trying. Yeah. And so, when, you know, I don't know. Look, people got their opinions about me either way. You know, everybody will. You know, and so, but one thing I will give you advice on is the more haters you have, the better you're doing. Of course. The better you're doing. Not from bad shit you've done. Not saying, and I don't want people like Eddie or anybody.
The hate doesn't really come from the
I'm talking about random haters. You know, not people you've had problems with in life. I'm talking about random shit you're going to see. You know what I mean?
Listen, if people don't really know you, never even met you, never really had a conversation with you, and they hate on you, there's only one reason why.
Oh, I'll tell you, for example, man, Eddie, that kid wanted to kick my fucking ass. And then we had a talk on the phone, and I was like, dude, I got arrested twice. I'm about to go to jail. And I swear to God, he was like, just do it when you can. He's a good guy, you know?
That's why I've been friends with him for my whole life. Because
I've seen pictures of you guys as Guido boys.
Yeah, you want to know why, dude? Because out of all the people in my life, you know, he can take criticism, and I try to, like I said, keep
my
it real.
fans are gonna find him because this is a new scam for Scumbag Vinny, the fantasy football thing.
Oh yeah,
it's the first they're hearing about it.
Yeah.
And my fans are gonna find him, and they're gonna try to get him.
Was his team good that he won?
dude, everybody quit. Like,
So
he won.
they
He
give up
won.
Yeah,
They gave me the money. And the first thing fantasy football mistakes that people do is they give some kid the money to hold on to it. Nobody need, the second, because then it's like, I'm in trouble. It's right there, and then it's so hard to get back as an extra thing.
Oh,
his team must have been good. He fucking won. You know what I mean? He won the whole thing.
He's like nuts about sports, so that shit's like, and he's a big gambler.
I used to talk to him every fucking day when we were doing it, trading and stuff like that. So I know he's a good kid, man.
He was over here the other night. He gambled like $50 on a game.
But you know how people who badmouth you, if you have a problem with them, like in comedy, if they badmouth you, that badmouth might be worth as much as the money I fucked him on. He went into my family and shit. This guy went and told my aunts and stuff. So he fucked me over. I can't even see people on Christmas now because of Eddie Dorenzo. So, buddy, I'll take you out to Chili's or something sometime. I love you. No, I'm kidding.
He's a nut.
But he is a nut. But guess what?
Great guy.
He is a good dude. And you know what
Good
else?
Heart. That's what you look at.
Yeah, and I hope me and him can rectify that. But my fans are going to go to him and say, well, listen, we should kill Vinny Beedle. Like, they're going to...
When you make it big, bro, you remember who,
Eddie Dorenzo.
Who was there for you. And
no, he's going to come on stage and tell everybody how I fucked him at fucking 600. Hey, Jay, thanks for having me, dude. I appreciate it.
Great talks.
I'm going to promote the shit out of it. Listen, everybody, you guys go listen to this podcast for the love. Listen, a lot of people that listen to my stuff are always interested in comedy and laughing. This podcast is about all different kinds of things. So tune into Jay. He's not only a New Haven, local. He's not only a friend of mine, but he's a great guy. And I'll tell you another thing. The guests he's going to have on are going to be stellar. So check out my comedy too. Any shows I got coming up, you can find me. You don't mind if I plug Jay? You find me on Instagram at Vinny Beedle, TikTok at Scumbag Vinny, and excuse me, coronavirus. Shout out to my sponsor, Sweet Heel CBD and Tiger Life Energy Drink. So thank you guys for having me, man. I'm so excited, dude.
Yeah,
this
it was
awesome.
a great time.
Cool.
You guys know where to find us: SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, and YouTube. Next week, Ian
Cunningham, Big E and C. This kid,
yeah,
he's upset. He doesn't know Chris Clark, but he just thinks that Chris shouldn't act like the Godfather, he calls it, of comedy.
Okay.
So basically, that if someone wants to pay someone, you shouldn't block that bread from their table. So Ian's gonna have his own opinions on all this, and he likes Dave. He's a friend of Dave Moon's. He's a friend of mine. Okay. You know what I mean? It might be a good neutral position to hear from somebody like that.
Very much so. And I, he gave me a little rundown of himself and what he's done, and he seems to be a very
he's one of the
hard worker
dudes.
too.
Yeah, dude.
Hard work.
Where he's going to meet me tonight at the show. We go on live. We do podcasts. We do comedy shows. And he'll blow your stuff up, too. He's gotten a few million views making Patriot parody songs.
Yeah, I heard.
Tom Brady, like millions of views, man.
I love the creativity.
He doesn't know how to transition it into those people knowing it was him.
Okay, gotcha.
He's one of them behind-the-scene writers, crazy that he'll let somebody else take all the credit. But he's a great dude. He's got to know his worth. Dude, but he's with me now. Yeah. And like I'm telling you, he's all about that attitude. Yeah. He's all about that attitude. He has his day job still, but he's like, Vinny, we're going to have more money than we ever knew what to do with. And hopefully, dude.
And that's the whole point. Like I said, I'll tell you, you can have that talent, you can have that creativity, but that's why I say open up to people, connect with people. This is what this is all about, because you can connect with somebody that can bring you to that next level. It's the whole point.
Honestly, that's what I experienced with these guys, and I'm not trying to say Dave's below me. What I was trying to say is maybe you're better. Yes. Maybe Scumbag Dave is a real thing. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Make it, yeah.
We're the same person. Maybe you don't have to call yourself that, but maybe doing that show with me, someone will be there that doesn't like me as much, but might give him a shot doing something. Yeah. So I don't know. I just am not for the blocking out of the opportunities, because, hey, that's his business, but really you're just stunting your growth. Yeah. You're stunting your growth. Yeah. Move past me. Everybody it's been almost 10 years.
Well, I'll say this. I'll put it out there, Dave. I'm sure you listen. If you want to do the show, I'll be a part of it. I'd love to be a part of this. You let us know. That's up to you. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to see it, a lot of fans that want to hear your stuff. So we'll see what happens. Next week, Ian,
Big E, and C.
And that'll be episode 12. So, all right, guys, that's it for tonight. Have a good night.
Don't ever let somebody tell you can't do something. You got a dream. You got to protect it. You want something, go get it. Period.